Mississippi Gamer Society Board Time Things production.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of the Bargain Bin Buddies podcast. In this podcast, every episode, one of us will be chosen by the almighty wheel to pick out a game that costs $5 or less at the time of choosing. Will the chosen one choose an indie gem for us, pick up a AAA on steep discount, or use their wheel-given power to troll us all? Before we get into it, I'm Caleb.
I'm Mike from Teach We Read Productions.
I am JB of Mississippi Gamer Society.
And I am Tyler of, as I said last time, nothing. But now I'm part of the Bargain Bin Buddies podcast.
And collectively, we're the Bargain Bin Buddies. Woo! Last time the wheel chose Mike. Mike, what game have you brought to the table?
Well, I found this nice little gem, I would say, called Chicken Strike Cluck Ops. And it was just something that stood out to me. The art of it on the banner, the trailer videos, all of that just kind of stuck out. And I was like, you know what? Let's try. Let's go for it. And here we are, fixing to discuss this.
Okay, I will say, when you picked this out, the trailer was hilarious, and it made it look awesome.
All the
However,
screenshots looked good.
Looks great.
The game.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the game.
So the game. Well,
what do we do in this game?
It's a game.
It's a game where basically it's just kind of like a wave, just a shooter, just a little third-person wave shooter. You clear the enemies, you move on. Some super basic stuff.
You are a chicken with a gun.
Yeah, you're a chicken
Multiple
with
guns.
a gun. Multiple.
3 guns, to be exact.
And a bazooka.
Yeah, 2 guns and a bazooka.
And don't forget, you have egg grenades that you poop out. So
the egg grenades were that was a nice touch. I'll give them that.
yeah. And it has multiple power-ups in the game to grab, like boost and health pickups and stuff. It doesn't help the game much, but, they're there.
It has insert your coffee shop of choosing bullet time pickup the latte.
Yep,
Yes,
yep.
That slows down.
It, from infringing on copyright as you could probably get by putting that coffee cup in there.
Yep, I didn't want to choose anything specific.
And before I picked the game, I did not read reviews. I didn't read any of the 3 reviews it has. Didn't look at any of that. Just picked it just based off look. So I just went in blind with it, like everyone here. And
so, quick poll: who all beat the game?
I beat the game in 22 minutes.
Yeah.
The entire game.
Yep, all 3 levels.
I didn't finish the first level.
I was about to say I didn't even finish level 1.
Yeah, didn't come. I think I got down to like 8 enemies left.
Oh, I didn't even do that good.
To give kind of a preface for the game, I'm gonna read the game's store page description for you. This is how the story you need going into the game. Chicken Strike Cluck Ops, the action-packed adventures where feathers fly and claws come out. Join the uprising to liberate FCK. Not KFC. Oh, which, by the way, I don't know if you since you guys didn't make it that far into the game, FCK stands for Fried Chicken Enterprise.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah. In a world where chickens have had enough of being served up on platters, one fearless foe rises to lead the resistance against the fast food giant known as FCK. Welcome to Chicken Strike Cluck Ops. Take control of a courageous chicken armed to the beak with an arsenal of weapons, from egg launchers to poultry-powered rockets. I didn't see an egg launcher in the game, just saying.
Yeah, it
I
had
did not.
a bazooka.
Well, my rectum, my cloaca was the egg launcher.
Your cloaca.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to mention this later, but almost positive the bullets were eggs. Tiny eggs,
Okay.
but you could actually, if you
notice.
paid attention, you could see them, like the bullets.
If that's true, that's a very cool detail.
Last line. Prepare for intense battles against waves of crispy adversaries, including Major Fanders. So the final boss is probably copyright infringement based on appearance. Totally not, Colonel Sanders. It is Major Fanders.
Not to be confused.
Well, I would not know. I did not make it that far. So,
Yep.
I thought this game was going to be extremely difficult. I didn't realize that you had unlimited ammo. So I just used the pistol for forever before finding out that you could use the machine gun indefinitely. That made the game incredibly too easy.
Oh, it was difficult. It was difficult. It wasn't because of the guns. It wasn't because of the ammo limit that it didn't have. It was just. So I'll tell you this: when I booted in, and the first note that you pop up is in like this weird font, and I was already like, "This is probably not going to be that good."
This is cursed.
and yeah, exactly. I was like, "Ooh!" And then I went to the options because my mouse. I'm a low DPI player. My mouse was on 800 DPI, and I felt like I was going to get sick with how fast it was going. So I went into the settings, and then it said, "What kind of controls are you using? Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch?" And I was like, "Whoa, well, that's probably not very good." So you can adjust your mouse settings. So I played the game on 150 DPI to try and make up for it. And it was awful.
So this game, I think Mike said it earlier, on Steam only had 6 reviews, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And of those, only 2, when I looked, were in English.
Oh.
And they said that no matter what you do in the options, it does not change your controls.
I didn't try to change any controls besides that. Yeah, that's so.
I changed my mouse sensitivity in game. Did absolutely nothing.
No, it didn't.
So
also, I found a nice little bug that if you go to the graphical settings and you try to scroll all the way down to reduce the, I can't exactly remember what they would call it, but it was a slider bar. When you got to the bottom of the graphics, it just blanked out the screen. So you couldn't actually, like, you could control the top. You could at least change from low, medium, high, and ultra. But if you try to go down below that, it would just blank out, and you'd have to restart the level because it would just, you couldn't do anything. And I tried like 4 or 5 times before I figured out, oh, it's just not going to let me.
Okay, so did anybody else have trouble running this game?
Yes. That's why I was looking at the graphical settings.
I didn't have any trouble running it, but
No, I had no trouble running it.
Did anyone look at the recommended specs for this game?
No, I did not.
16 gigs of RAM.
I believe it.
And
I believe once you hit level 2.
Yes, and level 2.
Level 2 tanked my PC.
And an NVIDIA GTX 3060.
Jeez.
I'm like...
3060?
Yep, a GTX 3060 is a recommended.
My poor 1080.
Amazing. I had to put the graphics on minimum just to get like 40 frames on the second level because it's a farm.
Yes.
And I'm guessing it renders every blade of grass.
Grass.
Definition, I don't know.
As soon as you put on low, the grass disappears.
Yeah, and it's insane.
So I'm in the same boat that it tanked my PC because when I booted it up, it had set it to ultra. I don't know why it set it to ultra, but the background flames on the intro screen were like bugging out. And I was like, I don't know if that's because it's a weird thing or because of my graphics. So I set them to medium, and they started doing fine. They looked like flames. I was like, all right, so it was just too high. Went through the first level, fine. Got to the second level, and literally 5 FPS.
The final level was the easiest one to run because it's the smallest of the 3 levels. Why is that?
I don't know. The second level was so bad, and my FPS was so bad. I could not pause the game to reduce. It was just that laggy. It was crazy.
Good grief.
I'm glad I didn't get past the first level.
Well, when I was playing the first one, and the way the people, because you're killing people, whatever, shooting people,
Yeah, the
but
employees of FCK.
the way they're running towards you, and then they'll be just you, and you know when you can't shoot them, because if they're in this 8-bit like pattern where they're just frames clicking in the background, they're invincible at that moment.
And then you have the
I
ghost
never noticed that.
hits.
Yes, the phantom hits, like they go to swing
phantom
at you
hits
and
it.
you run away, and you'll be far away, and then your health goes down because they hit you.
Yep.
Yeah, the hitboxes in this game, they are good. Very good.
And it is unforgiving if they get up near you.
Oh yeah, you're dead. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that none of us had a good time playing this game.
I mean,
Absolutely not.
I mean, as little time as I played it, it was funny.
Yeah, by the time I got to the third level, like once you get into the groove, like I wouldn't say like the best game ever, but it was, I was playing it. I was
It's
going to say,
serviceable.
yeah, like I was going to get to the end. I was going to see what happened. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't read it said start killing enemies, and then I walked around, and all of a sudden all the humans started hitting me, and I was like, what? Those are the enemies?
Oh yeah, that was my first experience with the game. It's I played the tutorial, which by the way didn't work.
No, the
Oh.
tutorial's not good.
Yeah, no. It was buggy. It was buggy.
It doesn't end. You have to physically end it yourself,
Yeah.
or at least I did. But then I didn't know what I was doing, so I go into level 1, and you're in a shopping mall for the first level. And I walk up to, I think it's like a treadmill shop or a gym shop or weight room or something. And the first guy I see, I just walk up to him thinking he's an NPC, wondering what I'm gonna do. And they just starts beating me. I'm like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized, oh, this is just Chicken Murder Simulator. So the point of the game is each level you have to kill a certain amount of people, whether they be employees of FCK or just random fried chicken enjoyers. They all want to eat you, I guess, is the story. And yeah, it all leads up to a anticlimactic showdown with Major Fanders.
So I think I'm loading up now because we gotta talk, or we gotta. I gotta say whatever it is that the first thing. God, where's it at? I want to read the note that it gives you. The very first thing. Let's see. Here it goes. If it will load. Oh, it's not gonna give it to you. Anyway, but it was like the little like note. It was like just kill all the enemies. It gave you your controls, which didn't match anything because it was set for Xbox for me, and you couldn't set it for PC. And then at the very bottom, it said, "Please give us feedback to improve the game." And that made me chuckle at the very bottom.
Oh, so we got this game, I want to say September 26th, 27th, maybe, or something like that. Yeah.
September
And-
28th is when I
Okay,
got
September
it, I believe.
28th. There was an update for this game on October 10th that said it fixed performance issues. And I gotta say, I didn't notice a dang thing change when I moved up the game after the update. Not a single thing.
Oh, goodness.
Not a clucking thing.
Not a clucking thing.
And the problem, the thing is that with the media they put out, like the screenshots and the trailer and all of that, they all looked good. Like they looked so much better than the actual game. Like it was almost like one of those watchdog things happened to us on that. Everything looks so much better.
I truly believe that the budget for this game, whatever it may have been, went into making the trailer. Because I don't think any of these assets were original. I think these were all bought from the Unreal Store or some sort of other asset flip location. Because all the humans are so generic, they're all about the same age. There's no unique architecture. It's just brandless, storefronts and everything. You've got a barn, and then you've got random office spaces. I know all of that is very common on the Unreal Store and other sites like that. And this was an Unreal Engine 5 game, I think? Or was it Unity?
I think it's Unreal.
I think so, too.
I have dabbled with Unity development, and I mean, I'll give credit where credit's due. You made a game, you published a game, good job. But
And it was their only game.
yeah,
And all we can say is, hopefully they learn from this and don't make another.
It's one of those things where I believe it could be improved, and to me, it's basic stuff. Like, okay, so if you're going to have a game where you are a chicken and you have a gun, creative license, go ahead, but then don't put your reticle at human level instead of chicken level, because the reticle in this game is useless. You might as well just ignore it, because it's set to be
Right.
where a human would be shooting from, not where the chicken is shooting from. So headshots are non-existent. You just spray and pray is how I beat the game, and it's just one of those things where that right there have been a huge improvement to me. Just having that one little simple change to where, hey, I'm not focusing on the reticle and not getting kills and not getting headshots. I think basic things like that and performance updates would really help. But I guess my PC is 10 years old at this point. And there was something else. Oh yeah, the ability for the settings to work. I mean, that seems like such a basic. Don't put your game out there unless your settings work.
Yeah.
I mean, settings are not supposed to be a placebo.
Yes.
Right.
At least the graphic settings worked, or I would not have been able to play this.
And honestly, I could see the game being something like if you had the chicken actually look like what it does in the banner, like wearing the military outfit and stuff that would improve a lot. And then doing something like maybe adding some type of an objective based instead of just kill all the enemies. Like do something a little objective, like rescue the eggs from here, or unlock the hen house to free the chickens.
Right.
Just some little things.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Why aren't you developing games?
I have no money. I
don't think they did either.
And really and truly, this is honestly, I could probably do the same thing they did. They just copied and pasted. And I mean, I get what they were doing because the other well-known game, Squirrel with a Gun, was released, and then this dropped same day or day after.
I get that.
I see what they're doing with it. I think it was one of those, let's drop it, make it look like this, and maybe we'll get a whole bunch of people, especially for $1. It was, and for it to be on sale the day it was released, almost, or 3 days after it was released on the 24th, and we got it on the 27th or 28th. I know I played it on the 28th.
I don't know if Steam has the data. I would like to see the refundable or refunded percentage, because it's like you said, it feels like one of those things where they made it look great, but it's only for $1. And if this game was for free and it was one of those things where it's like, hey, I am trying to get into that game development. This is one of my first games. This is a draft, basically. I could understand that.
Yeah, that would be totally
a completely different situation than a supposed game development company with charging for it, expecting you to just say, all right, it was $2 and it's not even worth the refund. And then if they get 10,000 downloads, that's an easy $20,000 and be done with it.
Well, I did see some, I was looking up the game on Google and everything, just looking up the data on it, and I was seeing stuff. It had less than 5,000 owners. So I don't know, also taking into account refund status and stuff like that. But as of when I looked at it today, it was saying less than 5,000 owners. But still, you even think 4,500 bought it and didn't refund. That's $4,500.
Right.
This literally probably cost them only $20 to make.
Literally. Well, I mean, they used a lot of assets, like Caleb was saying. They got a lot of these assets, probably all of these assets, from some sort of marketplace like the Unreal marketplace or a third party one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the budget went. They may have spent $100 on assets, but that's it. The programming was it was very thrown together, very quick.
Because I mean, in some of these screenshots, you see like some serious dynamic lighting,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of dynamic lighting going on, and I mean that's really good and awesome, but it did not flow into the actual game.
Right.
Even the gameplay trailer has like it is Unreal Engine. I just seen that in the trailer. It is Unreal.
Okay.
But it's so fluid looking in the trailer
Yep.
too. Like,
And I don't know if I'm out of touch with games nowadays. I know that the whole Call of Duty thing is a thing, like the space needed, and it might also be because this was thrown together from assets of Unreal. But 4 gigs for this game, that was
yeah, this is
that just blew my mind when I started to download. I was like, I would not have expected this game to be that large. And then I played it, and it's like 3 levels, and you're like, how is it 4 gigs?
2 things for that. One, I think most of that data is going to be the Unreal Engine backbone itself.
Yeah.
2, I'm not sure this game isn't mining cryptocurrency on my computer right now.
That's valid.
I mean, check your power usage. Is it up there?
honestly they in this day age that could be a thing right now.
That could be. Yeah, I would agree with the first point though. It being that large is probably mostly just the Unreal Engine backbone because Unreal Engine is a very large, very robust engine. So it alone probably takes up that much. And then the rest of the data is just the assets that they purchased because they used a lot of assets.
Yeah.
They used a lot of 3D assets, and I mean, based on your description of level 2, I can imagine, unless it's a whole bunch of copy paste, which is probably accurate. Either way, though, if it's a lot of assets on screen, that's going to take up data too.
So I'm assuming, based on all the conversation we've had, that nobody got a chance to play multiplayer.
No.
No, there's nobody. There's nobody playing multiplayer. So
So I want to throw this out there. We all agreed that we kind of don't like this game. We'll go ahead and get this part of the podcast out of the way. Is it worth the $1.69 we paid for it?
No.
I hate to say it, but yeah, as a game that only costs $1.69, I wouldn't buy this as a
Nope.
gift for anybody.
Not for how it's
No.
trying to present itself.
yeah, agreed.
Exactly.
Agreed. Based on the presentation of the game, if as you guys said, if it had been presented as just some indie developer's first ever project and it's a rough draft that is in early access or something, like if they presented it that way, it'd be worth it.
Oh,
Yep.
we got the game after it fully released. It was
Yeah.
already in
Yeah.
early access.
Oh wow. Considering that they released it like this and portray it as something much more robust than what it is, yeah, I can't recommend it. Not even for $1.69.
It goes like, even I'm looking at the page at my page of it. It's along with that presentation argument is there are 11 achievements. I got 9 of them in the 20-minute playthrough just to beat the game. It took me about 20 minutes to beat the game. I got 9 of the achievements. I should have 10 because one of them is to finish all levels and kill the boss, which I did. It just didn't give me the achievement for some reason.
I was going to bring that up. I also have 9 achievements and did not get the final
Yeah.
boss killing.
So it's one of those things where 11 achievements, you're going to put a game out there and you're going to put that goes to show that there was such minimal effort put into it. There was no love for the game
Yeah.
out there. It just seems like a straight up cash grab.
Oh, speaking of cash, back to what I was talking about, the price. We got it for $1.69, full price on Steam. It's $1.99 and has multiplayer. This game is also available on GOG, but it is $2.99 and does not have multiplayer functionality because that works for the Steam backbone.
Well,
So it's
that's
$1
even
more,
atrocious.
and you don't have multiplayer.
Why is it $1 more on GOG? Doesn't Steam take a bigger cut than GOG?
I don't know for sure, but I think so.
Because, yeah, Steam takes quite a hefty chunk. That's why a lot of developers were moving to Epic Games instead of Steam, because Steam takes so much off the top. So that's weird that they would charge more on GOG. Yeah, I want to say Steam's like 30%,
Yeah, Steam is 30, Epic was 10. I don't know what GOG is.
and Steam charges you $100 up front to publish
Yeah.
the game.
One last thing I want to say about this. This game, if they just put it back in the oven or whatever, let it marinate for a while, put some new content in it, lower the specs for playing. They've still got a lot of work to do if they ever want this game to actually sell. I'm not sure that they do. Because
Yeah.
games like this can work. I don't know if you guys play as many random video games as I do, but when I saw the trailer, I was really excited because I played a game a few years back called Goat of Duty. Have any of you ever heard of that
Yep.
one?
Yes.
I think I actually own that game.
That game has no business being as good as it is, but it's basically just a third person shooter. You're a goat with a gun on its back, and it's Unreal Tournament clone. And it's fun and it's funny. It could
Yeah.
work. You just got to put a little more effort into it.
I mean, it's kind of like junk food. A garbage game can be fun,
Yes.
but this is a garbage game that's not fun.
Agreed.
And I'll say this too about it, like the whole it's going back to the media presentation of it. When you look at the banner and then you get in and play the tutorial, you're kind of thinking it's going to be kind of almost like a Counter-Strike type of game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, kind of play like that, and then you get in and it's absolutely nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
So-
not even remotely close to Counter-Strike. And
I
I mean that in the worst possible way. Like,
Yeah.
all
And
the good aspects of Counter-Strike are missing.
Yeah, and even the banner, the chicken strike, I mean, it's the complete rip look of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, and then the subtitle Cluck Ops is clearly ripping off Call of Duty Black Ops,
Yep.
which
So they were
which
just-
I have booted up in the background because that's what I was doing before the podcast, playing an actual decent shooter.
Yeah, I was playing Black Ops 2 before I hopped over here. I
Here's
was
the
playing
thing,
Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
if they had just not put in the attempted story that they did, and just because it's already got a multiplayer function, if they just made it like 8 players, capture the flag, team deathmatch, that would have been like a fun 99-cent LAN party game that you and your buddies played for an evening, had some drinks, got some pizza,
Yeah.
some laughs. That would have been so much easier to do than what they did.
They could have even added bots for the multiplayer mode in case
Yeah.
if your friends, like, in case if you don't have anybody to play it with, they could have just added some simple AI bots to play against. And that would have been better than what they're passing off as a story.
I mean, honestly, it's like they had like, you think about, like, if this went to a pitch meeting, it was just basically like, all right, what's all the things that jump out and make people, like, think about, oh, I'm going to play this game, like all the mainstream games. Okay, let's just take all of their stuff and put it on the art, and then let's just throw out some rando game behind it.
Yeah, let's put in the very minimum. We're gonna hire somebody who has never developed a game before. They just learned how to work Unreal Engine, and they're gonna develop their first ever 3D video game, and we're gonna call it a day.
Yeah, and because then you think about what'd you say that Steam takes 30% up front?
They take 30% of all revenue and
Okay.
$100 up front.
Well, I've said everything I need to say about this game. Does anybody else have anything before we move on to the next segment?
I'm good.
That's pretty much it. I think we covered everything we can cover with this.
I think the only thing I have left to say about this game, well, two last details that I will add. One being, as the guy known as JB the Rooster, I'm very disappointed in this game, personally.
Yeah, we have an expert here. We
meant
have an
to bring up
expert
the
about chickens.
chicken
So
rooster
I'm just very disappointed
affiliations.
in chicken related media. This one failed me.
this and his put a stain on chicken related media.
And the second thing, I think it's safe to say that we would all put this one back in the bin.
This one goes.
I
in the
don't even
bin.
know if
This
I
one
would
goes in the
put
bin.
it back in the bargain bin, really.
Ooh, that's a
I
not back
I
in the
would-
bargain bin.
I would throw it on the floor and shove
Yeah.
it under the bin or throw it in the trash. Because I'm thinking
Yeah,
we're having
in the-
like a little 3-stage like thing here with how we rate games. Like, take it all out of the bin and put it on the shelf. Is like it was a
Yeah,
good
like
game.
Vampire Survivors went on the shelf.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors made it on the
Exactly.
shelf, no
And
problem.
then
Yeah,
I could say if we
putting
find a
it back
game,
in the bin.
yeah, back in the bin means like yes, that was a decent bargain find. Like it's not
Yeah.
great, but it's not a bad game.
Exactly. This
Now
one,
this,
this is the third option.
yeah, put it under the, just toss it on the floor and scoop it, like kick it under the bin.
Yeah. This is the trash bin.
Yeah, this one goes in the trash.
Yeah, because if you put it back in the bin, you risk someone else having to suffer.
I can't even recommend this game to others
No.
as a joke, and that's difficult because I love
Right.
garbage games. So, Chicken Strike Cluck Ops goes in the trash. Can't recommend it to anyone. It's not worth $1.69.
No, it is not. Next time somebody picks a chicken game, it better not disappoint me.
That was my bad. Apparently, I used my power given to me to troll everyone this time, even myself.
Hey JB, if they want a good chicken-based auto-running game, where can they go?
If you're on iOS, you can download Cluck and Run. Sadly, it is not available on the Google Play Store anymore because I neglected to re-up my Android developer account. So I have to re-upload it. Yeah.
Oh no.
I have to redo my entire account, find the old Cluck and Run files and re-upload it. Yeah. That is the one and only game that I personally have developed. And I mean, I hope it's better than this one at least. I'll leave it at that.
And there's our shameless plug for the episode. Cluck and Run.
All right, before we spin the wheel, we actually have a single listener question this
Oh.
time, coming from none other than JB's wife. She asks, if you could only play one console, not PC, for the rest of your life without worrying about the upkeep of the console, what would it be and why? So she did give us a doozy of a
Yeah,
That's
question.
but
hard.
not PC. That's not fair.
Yeah, I know.
I have an answer, and I'm proud of my answer.
I am too.
I do have an answer that I am proud of as well.
Real quick, before we answer, I do want to make sure, are we assuming that the lifetime of this console, we have the games from the console and like don't have to worry about sourcing the games? Like, assuming
My answer falls on the assumption that I have access to the full library of
That's
games
yeah,
available
that's what I
for
was
that
thinking.
console.
Like we
Same.
have all the games available,
Yeah.
and
Okay,
they and
that's how my answer assumed
and
that.
they wouldn't be damaged either. Like that's part of
Yeah.
the upkeep, I would figure.
That's in the hypothetical of the situation.
Yeah.
I guess I will go first, and mine. I hope mine, Caleb and mine are the same, but it's the GameCube straight up because I mean, it might be nostalgia talking, but highlight of my gaming career was the GameCube as far as consoles go because Mario Super Sunshine, the Zelda games on there, the random games, Metroid, Melee, it was just like the height, in my opinion. So mine's going to be GameCube all the way.
Well, Tyler, this may surprise you. Same generation, different console. I'm going with the Game Boy Advance.
Ooh.
I
Game
love
Boy
the
Advance.
GameCube, but I have so much nostalgia for the Game Boy Advance. And if you had access to the full library of games available to it, you could also play Game Boy and Game Boy Color games with it. You got one of my favorite Metroid games of all time, Fusion, is on it. You've got basically all the 2D Final Fantasies, lots of cool stuff. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, remakes of every Mario game that came out on the NES and Super Nintendo. I mean, the library is immense, and I don't think you would ever get bored with it.
That's a good one.
I feel like those are both
Oh,
very
yeah.
respectable answers.
Also, shout out for not Goku, Dragon Ball Z, since it's Sparking Zero's popular right now. If you play Legend of Goku and you didn't beat it, or you beat the game without using any health or power ups like I did, shout out to you, because I was too young to understand that you could use power ups.
Oh yeah, Legacy of Goku on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I thought the Senzu beans were collectibles. I didn't use them either.
Yep, never, but beat the entire game without using an herb or a sensor beam the entire game.
I save scummed, but I beat it. All right, JB, what's your go-to?
My pick is going to be something more modern. The highlight, I think the golden era for me would be the PS2, but I'm not going to choose that. I'm going to choose the Nintendo Switch. Because it has such a vast library, so many of my favorite games are available on it, whether it's my favorite newer games or some of my favorites that have been remastered or ported over. It has a very good library of games. Almost as good as the PS2's, in my opinion. Almost.
I
But-
literally watched a video yesterday for the top 10 upcoming RPGs on the Switch.
Yeah.
9 of those 10 were all remakes or remasters of stuff that come out a long time ago.
Right. So that's why I'm going to have to pick the Switch, is because so many games have been ported over or remade and ported over to the Switch that it's just got an amazing library. And I like JRPGs quite a bit, and there's a lot of JRPGs on the Switch. A lot of which that I have never played because I didn't get into the genre that much until recent years. So there's a lot for me to chew through on that console. Plus, it's versatile. It's both a handheld and a home console. So if it's the only console I have, at least I have options.
Good choice. Good choice. And that leaves us with Mike.
Honestly, I was torn on this question because I like JB was talking about the PS2. The PS2 holds a special place because, I mean, it's the PS2. Everybody should know that. It's the PS2. But
Yeah, as of this recording, it's still the highest grossing console of all time. The Switch is close, but as of this recording, I don't know if the Switch can beat the PS2.
yeah, the PS2 was just a different beast. Like, it came out at the right time. I mean, it had everything going for it when it came out. Like, it just blew up. But my pick it's going to be for the 360. Because a lot of mine's coming from a lot of fun growing up. Like, I mean, I was already graduated and everything when it came out. But it was a lot of sitting around playing couch co-op on Halo with my friends, and it was just like 15 of us sitting in a rooms just hooked up playing. It was the Fables, and I mean, it holds a special spot because
Those 360 have the best generation of couch co-op.
Yes. The
I think
360
so.
had the couch co-op down. And that's where it comes from, just me having all those memories of playing it and then just playing the original Halos and getting them. And then you have all the original Xbox games too. Well, most of the original Xbox games can play on it. And then...
Yeah, I would agree. I think PS2 is the golden era of gaming, but I would say that the 360 is the golden era of couch co-op and
because it kind of
online.
went... the 360 went...
It was kind of the genesis of
because you
online.
went like... it brought it out, and you had online was there, but it was still kind of fresh. And then Couch Co-op blew up with it, and then all of a sudden it started pushing hard for that online and getting everybody online. And when they had a lot of generations of 360s. I mean, I'm sitting in my room alone right now. I have 4 different generations of 360s around me. I have you had the 360, which is the white one, the Beast. That's the first one I ever had. It lasted me all through their generations until right before the Xbox One came out. And then I have an Xbox 360S, an Xbox 360E, by the way, that came out pretty much right when the one did. And then you had the 360 Elite.
What's the difference on that one?
I'm not really sure. Like it looks more like the one. The E looks like the one, but it's still a 360.
So what you're saying is, if we ever come over, you have enough Xboxes to have a 16-person LAN party.
Oh yes, Halo. Definitely.
Nice, very nice.
And I have plenty of copies of Halo as well, because that's just from back when I used to do it. I have a bag stuffed in there that I was the guy that had everything. I have like 8 different 50 to 100 foot Ethernet cords with a network hub. So, but it just reminds me of, it's nostalgia more than anything. And I know that because I've tried going back and playing some 360 games, and I mean, they're fun, but they aged like we all do.
Well, I can respect all of those answers. And I'd like to thank Gypsy, or Gypsy, however you pronounce that, for submitting our one and only question. Thank you.
She's a loyal fan. She's number 1.
She sure is.
Maybe this will spike everybody to start asking questions now.
Yes, if you'd like to know our opinions on anything gaming, comic book nerdy, food, doesn't really matter at this point. Just get the conversation going. You can find us in the Mississippi Gamer Society Discord or on the Mississippi Gamer Society Facebook at the moment.
Yeah, ask us some questions. Doesn't matter what it is. You can even ask Caleb what size shoe he wears.
Yeah. I'm not
if
gonna
you
tell
just
you
really
right
want to
now.
know.
I'll tell you next podcast.
Huge.
All right, so that leaves it to the almighty wheel. Since Mike and JB have already been chosen, it is down to Tyler and myself. It is a 50-50 wheel spin tonight, and whoever doesn't get picked this time picks the next game. So we are spinning the wheel now. Tyler! Tyler, what game have you picked for the group this time?
So, I'm glad it landed on me because I want to do a special, hopefully during December, Nightmare Before Christmas type podcast because I chose a game called Panicore, and it is a horror game. So, it is Panicore. And just in case, I did now go and check the recommended specs because apparently I need to do that now. And it recommends a GTX 1070, which hopefully everybody has equivalent or above that. So everyone should be able to run this game a lot easier than the Clucking game. But yes, it is currently $4.99 on Steam.
All right. Go into grab it
now. All right, so if you'd like to play along for our next episode, pick up your copy of Panicore on Steam. It is $4.99 full price, so you can pick it up now or closer to time. It's multiplayer only, I believe. Yes, it is multiplayer only, so grab some friends and play Panicore. We'll talk about it in next month's episode. Until next time, you guys stay bargain hunting. We're Bargain Bin Buddies. Peace out.
Peace.